Alright, so it's time to have a look at the Alley Island. This quaint little location just on the western side of the map here, near Oceanarium and Eagles Cove Tannery, has the site of what appears to be a sailing ship smashing into a small fishing vessel. And if you can brave the barnacles, you can get the remains of whatever's in this wooden crate. Some of it might be of use to you, although it seems that this place is quite devoid of, well, anything going on. Now, there's some ruined structures over in the corner, but I think it's actually out of the map boundary. Draining away the water, though, we can jump into camera mode, and you can see there's an awful lot of well, seaweed, coral. I'm sort of stuck between it's some sort of seaweed. We'll go with seaweed. So whilst that's all lying about, we can see the remains of the ship here. Does it have a first aid kit? No. Usually they do. It would have been awesome if you could have accessed these vessels for a wee interior sale. I know it would have been a lot of extra work, but you know, it could have told some really fun stories. My imagination here is that maybe these vessels just collided. Perhaps this one was docked here. It looks like there was a pier at some point, judging by the poles. So I imagine the fishing vessel was sitting docked, and the sailing ship, maybe in the confusion of the bombs falling, just rammed into it. And, well, completely... Is that a safe? I've been flying around this whole time and I didn't even notice you. Oh, wow. Let's have a look. I'm imagining it's an advanced lock. If I was to put my money on it, I would go advanced lock. Ooh, even better. It's already open. That is, in the last, I would say about 10 videos, I've found about 5 safes all along the coastline. And one thing I will say is, it'll actually get worse. There's so many in this region. I think this is the most dense region in Far Harbour for underwater finds. I know of at least a dozen. From Rock Point Camp to Haddock Cove to Fringe Cove Docks. There's so many going on there. This area is a little more devoid, although we found a safe over there. And let me see, if I look in the direction of those, see, it doesn't register as even on the map. So I imagine if we get even close to this region, it will more than likely tell me I cannot go that way. Yep, seen that one coming. Okay, so what if I swim down as far as I can go? I just want the buildings to render, because I find this a really interesting experiment. You see, if I do this, and I go all the way over, what's wild is, as you can see, some of these buildings are actually furnished. There's someone on a ham radio, and you won't be able to access this, like, at all. So there's more ruined buildings. Wow. I would say if we could get the render distance in. What? Has this just been forgotten? Anything in the shed here that's rendered in? Oh, there is. Like a camera and all. Like, people place stuff. Like, at some point, this must have been accessible. And I can do something to really, really prove it. If you look at the map, okay, that's strange. That's a massive, like, portion of islands just annihilated. Even on the map, they went so far as to make sure you couldn't see this on the map. So I'm guessing there was more to it, and then they went, nah, cut it. If Far Harbour extended to this, you know, to the exact dashed line, not only would you have access, obviously, to a large swath of an island there, there's a chem box on a boat that's up here, about here, and it would have been accessible. There's the power armor that you can find that's about here, west or east of Huntress Island. And again, it would have been within this boundary. So at some point they shrinked it. I wonder, was that maybe for map size, for maybe they needed to reduce the overall size of the DLC for some reason. And there's one or two things you can find out here. Obviously that's the island where you find the Red Death, but I think there's another 2 points. That's wild. I need to get the No Borders mod. Once I get the Fallout script extender, once it's updated, I'll be able to get outside the map again, because I've been unable to since that update. But it's good to know that there's an awful lot going on out there. So, Ali Island, you've been very useful in pointing out that there's a whole portion of the map that's been completely forgotten. That'll be interesting to look at in a later episode. Thank you all for watching.